Many years ago, I had a sleep paralysis experience. I knew there was a thing in my closet, something really evil. But I also knew I was dreaming, and I should face my fear. I tried not to look directly at the closet door, but if I moved my eyes, my head would turn away. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't look directly at it. Then I woke up in a cold sweat. At first, I felt really relieved that it was over, but very shortly, I realized it wasn't a dream, and there was really something in the closet. I was laying on my back and couldn't move. And I didn't really hear it, but I could kind of feel the sickening lift or wash over me in waves. Emanating from the closet, all of a sudden the thing throws a human head at me, and it lands on my chest, face up. It was this girl I knew in high school up to this point. I was kind of holding it together, terrified, but not panicked. Well, I lose it now. I can't even scream. All I could do is make these grunting sounds and moaning noises. I'm wriggling and straining, trying to rock from side to side to get it off me, but I can't move. This seemed to last maybe another minute or two, and then I really woke up. It was so traumatic that for weeks I would be scared when I woke up, that I wasn't actually awake, and something horrible could happen at any second. It still makes my skin crawl when I think about that laugh. The thing is, I never heard of sleep paralysis or night terrors at that point in my life. I thought I was losing my mind. Has anyone ever had sleep paralysis before? I tell you, it's one of the strangest, most fascinating yet horrifying things that you could experience. It's the feeling of being unable to move. Upon awakening, your senses and awareness are intact, but you still feel as though you're in this half asleep, half awake state. I'd heard stories of this long before it happened to me. I've only experienced it once. I was in college. I was going through an incredibly tough time in my life, and I was insanely stressed during finals week. I wasn't getting much sleep. It must have been the night before my last final. I went to bed late because I stayed up all night studying for bio. I don't remember at what point I decided to finally call it. I just remember it all becoming a blur. Then blackness. Next thing I remember, I was in my room in my bed, but there was this weird haziness in my awareness. Like I was awake, but I felt weaker when I tried to move. I couldn't. I could only move my eyes to look around the dark room at one point, when I guess I was looking to one side of the room. I looked back to the center, and there was this woman standing dead center in the room, facing the bed. She was wearing this black dress and holding some long objects. I wanted to call out Mom, but my paralysis prevented it. I couldn't say anything. The woman came closer to me until she knelt down and touched my forehead, and I could feel it. She got eye to eye with me, and I could see my mother's face. I tried to say Mom again desperately, but I was stuck in my own body. She stood back up and walked to the doorway before disappearing into the house. I lay there, unable to move, maybe another 10 to 20 seconds before my vision suddenly became more clear, and I was able to think more clearly as well. I was able to sit up. I jumped out of the bed, screaming Mom over and over. I ran to the bedroom hallway, yelling her name. A door opened down the hall and someone came to hug me. But it wasn't my mom. It was my dad telling me he misses her too. My mom died 3 weeks before this happened. You know what I love about dreams. How vague and how bizarre they can be. You feel like you're in this separate world where things can just make no sense. Now, what about when that unearthiness transcends into the quote-unquote real world? You'll see what I mean in a minute. I was in REM sleep, having this bizarre nightmare about being followed by some weird creature in the middle of the woods. The dream became fuzzy though, and I kind of woke up from it. I say kind of, because while I was out of the dream and back in my bed, I couldn't move a muscle on my body. I started hearing this faint, weird noise. It was this indescribable, robotic, yet alive type sound. It started light and soft, but it repeated every 3 seconds. I noticed it was getting slightly louder every time. I felt like the sound was getting closer. It got so unbearably loud in my head I just wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Then my eyes locked onto the closet door. Specifically, the crack in the closet door, which I never leave open, ever. There was this distorted face of a man looking between the crack with this unhumanly large open-mouthed smile. And every time I heard the noise, it seemed as if the closet and the face were getting closer until the closet door slammed shut and everything went silent. I regained control of my body shortly after that, and the first thing I did, even though I was 24 years old, was run to my parents' room to get my dad to check the closet with me. There was nothing in the closet though, or the rest of my room. My dad seemed pretty confident that what I just experienced was sleep paralysis, and that he had experienced it once as well. Didn't make me feel any less disturbed about what I just went through.